Hello, welcome everybody to our Everglades video, the top however many we come up with, things you should know about before you go down to the Everglades down here in Florida.
So number one, it's always a good idea to just stop at the visitor center on your way in, kind of get your bearings, talk to a ranger, get a map of the place, get information from the visitor center, and kind of get a feel for what they have going on. If there's any like special programs happening or anything that's just specific to that time that you're there going on, they're going to know about it and they're going to be able to tell you what they have going on. So first tip, I would obviously always stop at the visitor center and gather some good information.
And especially if you have kids, the Junior Ranger program is fun for them to do. Kids don't always like to go out on hikes or whatever, but if now they have something to look forward to, such as finding all the bugs or animals or whatever, it makes things fun for them, as well as the car trip and filling that stuff out as you're driving from one trailhead to another trailhead. So
Yeah.
Junior Ranger program.
Yeah, if you've got kids, definitely do the Junior Ranger program. Lots of fun. So speaking of trails, in Everglades, there are a variety of trails there. I liked that right off of the road, you can just pull off and there are several very short hikes, like less than half a mile hikes. I say there was like 4 or 5 of them as you go, and they just take you on a boardwalk out through like the swampland, or they take you on a trail through the jungle type trees, and you get to, in not much hiking, just little we call them fun little strolls through the forest, right?
Yep.
So the kids don't know that we're hiking.
Exactly. Fun little strolls.
But they really are very easy. Like most of them, even
yeah.
wheelchair accessible type easy little strolls, and you get to experience like all of the diversity and all of the variety going on in the Everglades just by simply taking just those handful of little trails. Like
Exactly.
if you didn't have a lot of
know,
time, that's exactly what I would do.
And I didn't know what to expect when we went down to the Everglades. A lot of water everywhere, so the boardwalks are nice to get you out over some of the swampy areas. You can see the grassland prairies, and they get you into the thicker stuff, so that the boardwalks really show you a big range of the landscape and what you'll find there. One thing we didn't know when we went down there is you don't have to stay on the trails. You can just go hike anywhere. But remember, a lot of times you're going in knee-deep water, so they suggest wearing long pants or something that can dry off quick. But galoshes, shoes,
Wader pants
feet.
might be a good idea.
And they say tuck your pants in to your socks or whatever, so bugs in that can't crawl up your shorts. But
no, it's definitely different. Like the national parks in Utah, where we're used to being and hiking, or out in the West, it's dry desert, those kinds of things. Your issues and your cautions are: take plenty of water, make sure you wear sunscreen, wear shade.
Stay on the trail.
And all national parks, stay on the trail, stay on the trail, stay on the trail. Except the Everglades, you are welcome to go and explore anywhere you want to.
Yep.
And that's kind of neat.
And we did see several people with waders. They would go out there with hip waders or whatnot to capture pictures or just go out and look and explore. We didn't do any of that. We weren't prepared for that. So something you guys can be prepared for if you like to be adventurous and explore. Bring something you can walk through that water. They do have some tours that do go through that sort of thing as well. But the one tour we went on was at the Anhinga Trail, and they're ranger guided tours, fun and informative for the kids.
And us.
And us. They go through, see some alligators, talk about the alligators and the Anhinga birds and the different wildlife there.
Yeah, the Anhinga Trail is definitely a must. Definitely a must. Oh, and cool fact about the Anhinga Trail, they have a shuttle from
Homestead, yeah.
There's a shuttle that brings you from town out to the Anhinga Trail or the visitor center, and it will take you back as well. And and you can experience a lot there. But definitely the Anhinga Trail is definitely a must. And I would opt in on the ranger led version of that. They do it one like at 10:30, so like a morning hike, and then they also do one after dark, after hours. And we actually did both of those, and they were both fantastic.
Both great.
It was really fun. The dark one, the advantage of doing that made it really unique is you bring your flashlight and you can shine the flashlight out and see alligators. You see the reflection of their eyes.
Yeah, that
coming
was
back
cool.
at you.
That was really cool.
Just something we had never experienced or done before, and to have the ranger there telling us, facts and interesting information and just guiding and making that whole experience really, really fun for everyone.
And if you have kids, make sure you manage their flashlights. They seem to be all over the place and in your eyes and whatnot. But,
of course.
But no, a really good flashlight is awesome on that trail. It was a lot of fun.
I had a sucky flashlight, and so it was pretty much pointless. But take a good quality one. And the ranger had some that they would lend out and let people use for that experience as well. So that was my favorite hike.
Not only do you get to see alligators down here, the American alligator, but you get to see the American crocodile along with the alligator. Down in the bottom, down in Flamingo area, was able to see a couple of crocodiles down in there. And it's the only place in the world where a crocodile and an alligator coexist. Typically they're in totally separate environments, but they coexist. So that was kind of cool to be able to see crocodiles there as well as the alligators and see the differences in them. And it was fun. It was cool.
One cool thing that makes it so that the alligators and crocodiles, so that the croc specifically, so that it can live there. So, you get into the Everglades, and the main visitor center is where you come to as you come into the park. But then as you drive, I think it's about an hour through the park, there's a separate visitor center clear down at the bottom, at the end, right on, here's Florida, right? Just like it is right down here at the very bottom. And that's where the Flamingo Visitor Center is. So I would stop in at that visitor center too. But that's where the actual crocodiles live. And obviously, because they're right there on the Gulf of Mexico, that's salt water. And so crocodiles have the ability to live for periods of time in salt water before needing to move back to the freshwater. And that's what makes the Everglades so cool, is that the salt water and the freshwater come together there. And so they have this neat ecosystem. So the alligators don't make it down all the way to the saltwater because alligators can't live in the saltwater.
No.
So, I don't know, it's kind of neat.
Definitely. That, and there's, like I said, tons of different wildlife and birds that you don't ever see. There was a nest there with a couple of different nests we saw with the osprey. There were several nests of osprey there. It was fun to see them up close and get some pictures. So different wildlife, definitely, especially from Utah.
Oh, very different than what we're used to. So a really good suggestion is maybe, Google research birds that live in the Everglades and kind of become familiar with them. And then as you get there, you'll be able to spot them.
Yep.
We saw, what looked like a pink flamingo while we were there. It wasn't a flamingo. It was a pink
spoonbill.
Yeah, which was very cool. But flamingos live there, spoonbills live there. They have all sorts of different exotic birds that live there. So another advantage of being able to just not stay on the trail, you can go explore and see the birds and where they live and those kinds of things. It's really neat.
So one of the fun things we did down there that I wanted to experience was taking an airboat ride through the Everglades. And that was a lot of fun. It's fun just being on the airboat and feel how they float through the water and, be able to have the tour guide take us through and show us and talk to us about some of the different animals there. Definitely saw alligators and turtles, some yellow-bellied turtles, and, once again, many of the different birds that are down there. I can't even remember them all, but then it was also fun. He went fast. I'm sure it wasn't that fast, but it felt pretty fast with a boatload of people.
And I loved it.
And they just turned sideways. And
and you're like scooging across the water sideways. It was fun. Definitely a new experience for us.
So if you get a chance to go on the airboat rides, the tours, there's only 3 that are allowed to go into the Everglades. The others go into different parks. But also down in Flamingo, there's not airboat rides, but there's just regular boat tours that go up into some of the channels and out to the islands and things like that. We didn't ever go on any of those.
No, because we wanted to ride in an airboat.
We wanted to do the airboat ride. If you can afford to do both or multiple, I say go for it. You know, a lot of the tours are a lot of fun. You get to learn some interesting facts.
You know, and if you're not really into the tour, you want to just kind of go do your own thing. Down at Flamingo, they also have like canoe and kayak rentals, and you can paddle up the river. They have, was it 90 miles of backcountry river that you can explore there. Like it's one of it is like the largest river chain. We obviously did not do anywhere near 90 miles.
Take a kayak or canoe and travel up some of the channels and just experience. It's a lot of fun to just be out here in new area and explore and see and just, you know, see the difference of Mother Nature in this part of the world.
You could also take like the kayak out, like, you know, a larger ocean kayak and take it out, not just up the rivers, but right out into the bay, right there into the Gulf of Mexico and to that area. We visited with a guy there who was a professional fisherman for not for money-making purposes, but for sport. he fished a lot, and he said that, you know, you paddle out 5 minutes and you can get into some really amazing fish. And like he's caught sharks and, you know, different things before as well, and just a lot of fun. So many cool things that you can experience, and so much diversity of things you can experience there.
Very different than what I expected. I wasn't sure what I expected, but definitely it was a different experience than I had in the back of my head. So pretty cool.
So one thing I want to point out about airboat tours before we move on.
Okay.
So if you want the airboat tour that actually you go into the Everglades, that does not happen at the visitor centers. You have to come back out of the park up to the top end of the park, and you can experience it that way. It was what, like half hour?
Yeah, half hour.
Half hour, 45 minutes or something from our campground to go back up to do that. But another option is there is a company that does airboat tours, and they have like an alligator farm that is really, really close to the entrance of the Everglades. And it was a matter of like 10 minutes away. And they also do airboat tours there, but they do it on their own property. And it's still the same type area, but it's not actually part of the national park.
Nope.
And so you have some options there.
Yeah, and there's plenty of airboat tours that do go everywhere. Same type of country, same things. But I would suggest doing the airboat tours. It was a lot of fun.
We really enjoyed it.
A lot of fun. So, what do you do when you get down here? We're going to talk about camping in the Everglades. I was a little nervous about being able to get in. Back in Utah, it's hard to get in the national parks, and like you got to have things reserved months in advance to get into a lot of the national parks there.
Well, and we found that Florida in the winter is sometimes really hard to find a place, and that you need to plan ahead. And so if you're able to plan ahead and you know where you're going to be there and you're going to camp, get online and reserve a spot. I mean, kind of a no-brainer. That's a really, really nice option. But if you're like us and you're a little bit less planned and you don't know exactly when you're going to be there, you can still make that work too. So our tips for making it work, if you're a wing it kind of person, is 1, show up on a weekday, not
Monday
the
or Tuesday preferred.
And you're more likely to get one of the first come first serve sites. Show up as early as you can in the day, and that's really helpful. Know that in the Everglades there are 2 campgrounds. There's the main campground up by the entrance in the visitor center, and then there's a second campground, an hour in down at Flamingo. They have a campground there as well.
And if you're going to do tent camping, it's a lot easier to get in with the tent camping than it is in RV camping.
Yep.
But Yes, come on a weekday. In the weekends, they seem to fill up. I think more of the locals come in and like to do their camping out there. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty great place. It was fun at the campgrounds too. We actually, in the evenings, heard a lot of the barred owls hooting all night. And I think there were some barn owls in there too. I'm not sure. But the barred owls have a very distinct hoot that I have pegged. So
yeah, it was really fun.
It was a lot of fun. So weekends, like I said, do fill up. So if you're winging it, weekday. But the campgrounds are pretty nice. There's showers there, bathrooms. There was no...
Here's the negative about that, though.
Power or water at the sites, though.
Yeah, no power or water at the sites. So showering, at the facility became necessary if you're there for very long. And the showers weren't heated. Now, it's hot.
They were colder.
Right? It is really, really warm in Florida. It's warm all year round. And so, our temperatures were warm, but... I don't know. I still don't like a cold shower, no matter how warm it is outside.
They were pretty cold. It was quick cold. Maybe they keep you a quick shower so you're not sitting in there all day.
Yep. So that was maybe my biggest negative.
But there are those facilities, so.
Yeah.
But there is, once again, no power or water or sewer at the sites. There are water stations where you can get water, and then, like I said, the bathroom shower houses. Were there, so.
And how much was it? Was it like $24?
I think, yeah, $24 a night is what we paid. So
very affordable as well.
Yep, not too bad for an RV, and I like cheaper, but that seems to be typical around the $24. There are definitely places that can get to be a lot more expensive, so it's a bugging me. Anyway, those are our 38 tips for. I don't know how many there were.
Those are our best thoughts and ideas for you, sharing some of our experience in the Everglades. Hopefully you'll find this information to be useful and it will help you when you're planning your trip there. And when you go, or when you're planning to go, shoot us an email or comment on this video. Let us know what you're planning on doing, what your thoughts are about it, if you find these tips to be useful. If you've been there and you have some additional ideas to add, let us know. Let us know what your experience was.
Put them in the comments below for sure. Because we want to come back and, you know what? Maybe somebody else has some different ideas.
Yeah, we can definitely upgrade our next trip.
Exactly. And if you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything. It just lets you know that you're interested in what videos we put out. We're definitely going to do a lot more of these tips and tricks, how-tos, I don't know what you want to call them, videos. So hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button if you want to be notified when we upload a video.
Let's call them
always at random.
Let's call them informational videos to help you be a little bit better prepared and to maximize and enjoy your trips and vacations to a lot of different spots.
Yep. Okay. Thanks for watching. You guys are awesome, and have a good day.
Take action.
Create adventures.